There will always be moments in life that shake you to your core. Setbacks, failures, disappointments. Some are small stumbles, others feel like the ground has completely disappeared beneath you. But what separates those who rise again from those who stay down is a resilient mindset. Resilience isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, brick by brick, with the thoughts you allow, the beliefs you reinforce, and the way you respond to adversity. It starts in the mind before it ever shows up in action. When difficulties come, and they will, the first instinct is often to ask, why me? But that's the wrong question. The better question is, what now? Because no matter what happens, the next step is always yours to take. The problem isn't the problem. The problem is how you think about the problem. If you see every setback as an ending, you've already lost. But if you train yourself to see it as a lesson, as a stepping stone, then you gain the power to turn any difficulty into a tool for growth. Your mindset is shaped by what you feed it. If you let failure convince you that you're not capable, then it becomes true for you. But if you decide that failure is just part of the process, that every stumble is a setup for a stronger comeback, then nothing can hold you down for long. Most people let setbacks shrink them. Resilient people let setbacks sharpen them. They don't waste time dwelling on what went wrong. They extract the lesson and move forward with greater wisdom. And here's the secret. Resilience isn't about avoiding struggles. It's about becoming the kind of person who can handle them. It's about knowing that no matter what life throws at you, you can adjust, adapt, and keep going. Some people bounce back faster than others, not because they have fewer problems, but because they've trained themselves to respond differently. They don't let emotions dictate their next move. They take control of their thoughts, they reframe the challenge, and they decide right then and there that they will not be defeated. There is no growth without discomfort, no strength without struggle. A resilient mindset is built in the fire of adversity, not in the comfort of ease. Every setback is a test, a challenge, an opportunity to prove to yourself that you're stronger than you think. So how do you develop resilience? It starts with awareness. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself when things go wrong. Do you criticize yourself? Do you dwell on failure? Or do you encourage yourself to find solutions? What you say to yourself in tough moments determines how quickly you bounce back. If you tell yourself, I can't do this, then your mind will believe it. But if you tell yourself, I'll figure it out, your mind will search for ways to move forward. Resilient people train their minds to focus on possibilities rather than limitations. They don't see failure as permanent, they see it as feedback. If something doesn't work, they adjust and try again. They don't take setbacks personally, and they don't allow one bad moment to define them. They understand that life is a series of ups and downs, and the only way to navigate it successfully is to keep moving forward no matter what. Another key to resilience is learning how to manage emotions. It's easy to let fear, frustration, or disappointment take over in tough times, but emotions should never be in the driver's seat. Resilient people acknowledge their emotions, but they don't let them dictate their actions. They practice staying calm under pressure. They train themselves to respond rather than react. This ability to stay composed in adversity makes all the difference. Resilience is also built through perspective. If you believe that everything happening to you is unfair, that life is against you, then setbacks will always feel overwhelming. But if you shift your perspective and start seeing challenges as part of the journey, as opportunities to learn and grow, then your mindset changes. You become less fearful of failure because you know that every failure carries a lesson. You stop seeing obstacles as roadblocks and start seeing them as stepping stones. A resilient mindset also requires persistence. The people who succeed in life are not always the most talented, the smartest, or the luckiest. They are the ones who refuse to quit. They get knocked down and get back up. They face rejection and keep going. They stumble but never stay down for long. They have learned that success is not about avoiding failure, but about continuing despite it. Another powerful tool for building resilience is gratitude. It may seem simple, but gratitude shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right. No matter how tough things get, there is always something to be grateful for. Focusing on what you have rather than what you lack strengthens your mindset. It reminds you that even in difficult moments, there is still something good in your life. And finally, resilience is built through action. You can think positive thoughts all day, but if you don't take action, nothing changes. Resilient people take control of what they can and refuse to dwell on what they can't. They don't wait for circumstances to change. They change themselves. They don't sit around hoping for an easier path. They develop the strength to walk the one they're on. They move forward step by step, knowing that every challenge is making them stronger. Life will present you with challenges, setbacks, and disappointments. But the single most powerful decision you can make is to take full responsibility for your life. Until you do, you will always be at the mercy of circumstances, blaming external factors for where you are and waiting for someone else to fix things. But the truth is, nothing will change until you decide to take ownership of your actions, your choices, and your future. Responsibility is not a burden. It is a gift. It is the key that unlocks the door to growth, progress, and success. Taking responsibility means recognizing that where you are today is a result of the decisions you have made. It's easy to blame the economy, your upbringing, bad luck, or other people for your struggles. But none of those things have the final say in your life. You do. Your choices shape your destiny. The moment you accept this truth, you reclaim your power. You stop waiting for someone else to change your situation, and you start taking the necessary steps to change it yourself. Most people avoid responsibility because it is easier to blame something outside of themselves. When you blame, you relieve yourself of the need to take action. But blaming won't pay your bills. Blaming won't build your business. Blaming won't improve your health. Blaming won't fix your relationships. Only action does that. And action only comes when you decide that you are responsible for the results you get. No more excuses, no more waiting, no more pointing fingers, just action. Taking responsibility does not mean that everything that happens to you is your fault. Life will throw unexpected challenges your way, some of which you had no control over. But responsibility isn't about blame, it's about response. You may not be responsible for what happens to you, but you are always responsible for how you respond. That response is what determines your future. Two people can face the same difficulty, but one grows stronger while the other feels defeated. The difference is mindset. One takes ownership of their response and focuses on what they can control, while the other allows the situation to control them. When you take responsibility, you stop playing the victim. You stop waiting for circumstances to change, and you take control of your own destiny. You start asking, what can I do to improve the situation? Instead of, why is this happening to me? You start finding solutions instead of dwelling on problems. You take charge of your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. You recognize that complaining changes nothing, but action changes everything. One of the biggest areas where responsibility is essential is in your daily habits. Your life is a reflection of the small choices you make every day. If you are not where you want to be in life, look at your habits. What are you doing consistently? What time do you wake up? What do you feed your mind? How do you spend your time? Success and failure don't happen overnight. They are built through daily habits. People who take responsibility don't rely on luck. They don't wait for motivation. They don't make excuses about not having enough time. They create routines and systems that push them forward, no matter how they feel. They don't depend on discipline alone. They build an environment that supports their success. Another area where responsibility matters is in your relationships. How you treat others, how you communicate, and how you handle conflicts all shape the quality of your relationships. If you constantly blame others for misunderstandings, you will always feel like a victim. But if you take responsibility for your communication, your attitude, and your actions, you will build stronger connections. Instead of saying, "They don't understand me," you start asking, "How can I communicate better?" Instead of blaming others for relationship failures, you focus on what you can do to improve them. Taking responsibility in relationships means being honest with yourself, owning your mistakes, and being willing to grow. Your financial situation is another reflection of responsibility. If you're struggling financially, it's tempting to blame the economy, your job, or your upbringing. But blaming won't fix your finances. Taking responsibility will. It starts with understanding that wealth is not just about income. It's about mindset, habits, and discipline. Responsible people take charge of their spending, their investments, and their earning potential. They educate themselves. They make sacrifices. And they focus on long-term success rather than short-term gratification. They don't wait for someone else to improve their financial situation. They take action to improve it themselves. Health is another area where responsibility is crucial. No one else can eat healthy for you. No one else can exercise for you. No one else can take care of your body but you. If you don't like how you feel, how you look, or your energy levels, you have the power to change it. Taking responsibility for your health means making better choices, even when it's inconvenient. It means prioritizing your well-being and not making excuses. It means understanding that your body is your responsibility and no one else can do the work for you. Ultimately, responsibility is about recognizing that you are the driver of your own life. It is about realizing that your past does not define you. Your choices do. It is about understanding that life will never be perfect, but you always have control over how you respond. It is about replacing blame with action, excuses with solutions, and fear with determination. When you take full responsibility for your life, you stop hoping for change and you start creating it. You stop waiting for someone else to fix your problems and you take control of your future. You become the kind of person who does what needs to be done no matter the circumstances. And when you do that, there is no limit to how far you can go. Life has a way of throwing unexpected challenges at you, and no matter how carefully you plan, setbacks are inevitable. Some are minor inconveniences, while others feel like devastating blows. But what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck is how they respond to these setbacks. The strongest people in the world, the most successful individuals in any field, all have one thing in common. They know how to learn from every setback. They don't waste time feeling sorry for themselves. They don't dwell on what went wrong. Instead, they extract the lessons, adjust their approach, and move forward stronger than before. Every setback carries a lesson, but not everyone is willing to learn. Most people see failure as a sign to stop, a reason to give up. They allow disappointment to turn into discouragement, and discouragement turns into inaction. But the truth is, failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the process. If you are not failing, you are not growing. If you are not experiencing setbacks, you are not pushing yourself hard enough. The key is to stop seeing failure as a permanent defeat and start seeing it as valuable feedback. When something goes wrong, it's easy to blame circumstances, other people, or even bad luck. But blame is useless. It keeps you stuck in the past instead of helping you move forward. The most powerful question you can ask yourself after any setback is, what can I learn from this? This question shifts your focus from what went wrong to what you can do better next time. It puts you in control, reminding you that every mistake, every failure, every disappointment is an opportunity for growth. Learning from setbacks requires humility. It requires the ability to look at a situation honestly, without ego, and recognize what needs to change. Some people repeat the same mistakes over and over because they refuse to acknowledge their role in the problem. They assume that life is unfair or that success is out of their control. But those who grow, those who truly improve, are the ones who take an honest look at their failures and ask, What could I have done differently? They are willing to take responsibility, and because of that, they continue to get better. Resilience is built through setbacks. Every time you face difficulty, you have a choice. You can let it break you, or you can let it build you. The strongest individuals, the most successful people, are the ones who have learned to use failure as fuel. They don't see setbacks as a reason to quit. They see them as a test of character, a challenge to overcome. They know that every great success story is filled with failures, disappointments, and obstacles. The difference is that they refuse to let those setbacks define them. Think about some of the greatest success stories in history. Almost every successful person has faced rejection, failure, or discouragement at some point. Famous entrepreneurs have launched businesses that failed before they built billion-dollar empires. Legendary athletes have lost crucial games before becoming champions. Best-selling authors have been rejected by publishers before their books became global phenomena. The common thread is that they refused to let failure stop them. Instead, they used it as a lesson, a stepping stone toward something greater. One of the most important skills you can develop is the ability to analyze a setback without emotion. In the heat of the moment, failure feels personal. It feels like proof that you are not good enough, that you should quit. But once the initial disappointment fades, you must train yourself to step back and look at the situation objectively. What went wrong? What factors led to this outcome? What can you do differently next time? When you remove emotion from the equation and focus on facts, you gain clarity. That clarity allows you to make smarter decisions moving forward. Learning from setbacks also requires patience. Growth is not instant. Improvement takes time. Too many people expect immediate success, and when they don't get it, they give up too soon. But the truth is, mastery in any field comes from repeated failures, constant adjustments, and relentless persistence. If you are committed to learning from every setback, you will eventually reach your goals, not because you avoided failure, but because you refuse to let it stop you. Another key to learning from setbacks is to adopt a mindset of curiosity. Instead of seeing failure as a dead end, see it as an experiment. Every setback gives you data, and that data helps you refine your approach. If one strategy didn't work, it doesn't mean you failed. It means you just discovered one way that doesn't work. This mindset keeps you from getting discouraged and instead keeps you engaged in the process of improvement. Surrounding yourself with the right people is also crucial. The company you keep will influence how you handle failure. If you are around people who complain, make excuses, and give up easily, you will adopt those habits. But if you surround yourself with people who are resilient, who push forward despite obstacles, who see failure as a lesson, then you will develop the same mindset. The right people will challenge you, hold you accountable, and encourage you to see setbacks as opportunities rather than roadblocks. At the end of the day, setbacks are unavoidable. They are a natural part of the journey. But what matters is how you respond to them. If you choose to see them as lessons, as stepping stones towards success, then nothing can hold you back. If you train yourself to extract wisdom from every failure, then you will continue to grow, improve, and move forward. The people who achieve the greatest success are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who never stop learning from failure. Your daily habits shape your life more than anything else. Success is not built in a single day, and failure doesn't happen overnight. Everything you do consistently, whether good or bad, compounds over time. The small choices you make every day determine the quality of your health, your relationships, your career, and your personal growth. If you want to change your life, you don't start with huge dramatic shifts. You start by strengthening your daily habits. Because what you do every day is far more important than what you do once in a while. Most people underestimate the power of small habits. They think that success comes from one big breakthrough, one lucky opportunity, or one major decision. But the truth is, Success is built on a foundation of daily disciplines. The people who achieve great things in life don't have more luck or better opportunities. They simply have stronger habits. They wake up every day and do the work, even when they don't feel like it. They follow routines that push them forward. Even when motivation is low, they don't rely on willpower alone. They create systems that make success inevitable. One of the most important things to understand about habits is that they work in both directions. Good habits will take you to success, but bad habits will slowly pull you away from it. The challenge is that most bad habits don't seem harmful in the moment. Eating unhealthy food once doesn't make you unhealthy. Skipping one workout doesn't make you weak. Procrastinating for a day won't destroy your progress. But when these small actions are repeated over time, they create long-term consequences. The same is true for positive habits. Reading for 10 minutes a day won't make you a genius overnight, but over the course of a year, you will have gained valuable knowledge. Exercising for 20 minutes a day won't transform your body in a week, but over months and years, it will create lasting results. The key to strengthening your daily habits is to focus on consistency, not perfection. Too many people start a new habit with excitement, only to quit as soon as they miss a day. But habits are not about being perfect, they are about being persistent. Missing one day doesn't ruin your progress. Giving up does. The goal is to build momentum, to make your habits automatic so that they become part of who you are. When something becomes a habit, it no longer requires willpower or motivation. It simply becomes your normal way of operating. One of the best ways to strengthen your daily habits is to make them easy to follow. Most people fail at building good habits because they try to change too much at once. They set goals that are too big, too unrealistic, and too overwhelming. They decide to completely change their diet overnight, start working out for 2 hours a day, or read 5 books a week. But drastic changes rarely last. The key to lasting change is to start small. Instead of trying to overhaul your entire life in one day, focus on small, manageable improvements. Make your habits so simple that you can't fail. If you want to start exercising, commit to just 5 minutes a day. If you want to read more, start with 1 page. If you want to wake up earlier, set your alarm 5 minutes earlier each day. Small habits may seem insignificant, but they create momentum. Over time, small changes lead to big results. Another powerful way to strengthen your habits is to create an environment that supports them. Your environment influences your behavior more than you realize. If you want to eat healthier, don't rely on willpower. Change your environment. Remove junk food from your house and keep healthy options easily accessible. If you want to exercise more, lay out your workout clothes the night before. If you want to be more productive, create a workspace that eliminates distractions. When you design your environment for success, you make it easier to stick to your good habits and harder to fall into bad ones. Accountability is another key factor in strengthening daily habits. It's easy to let yourself off the hook when no one is watching, but when you have someone holding you accountable, you are more likely to follow through. Find a friend, a mentor, or a group that will keep you accountable. Share your goals with them and check in regularly. Knowing that someone else is watching will give you an extra push to stay consistent. If you don't have someone to hold you accountable, use self-accountability methods. Track your progress, set reminders, and celebrate small wins to keep yourself motivated. One of the biggest obstacles to strengthening habits is the tendency to rely on motivation. Motivation is unreliable. Some days you will feel inspired, energized, and ready to take action. Other days you will feel tired, distracted, and unmotivated. If you rely on motivation alone, you will only be consistent when you feel good. But if you build discipline, you will take action no matter how you feel. Successful people don't wait for motivation. They create systems that make action automatic. They develop routines that keep them on track even on days when they don't feel like it. It's also important to have a long-term mindset when it comes to habits. Many people give up on good habits because they don't see immediate results. They go to the gym for a week and don't see a change, so they quit. They start eating healthy, but don't lose weight instantly, so they give up. But real change takes time. The results of your habits are not always visible right away, but they are always accumulating. If you trust the process and stay consistent, the results will come. At the core of strengthening your daily habits is the understanding that small actions, repeated consistently, lead to massive results. Success is not about one big decision. It is about the hundreds of small choices you make every day. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, every time you stick to your routine, every time you take one small step forward, you are strengthening the habits that will shape your future. If you control your habits, you control your life. And when you strengthen your daily habits, you create a foundation for long-term success in every area of life.